Thank you, and welcome to the Mozilla Gigabit Open House. I'm really excited you all to be here today. I know everyone's been really excited to get going and figure out what are these funds for and how are we going to do this as a city and rally behind this. So thank you for being excited and thank you for coming to the event. And I hope you learned something today, and if you don't, I'm always here. Come bother me. I'm excited to work with you all. I just wanted to play a quick video produced by TAO, Technology Association of Oregon. It kind of is a welcome to Eugene from Mozilla, and it's beautiful. Check it out.
Technology continues to transform our world and our lives. Those communities committed to delivering high-speed internet to businesses, institutions, and individuals will emerge as leaders in the innovative and high-tech breakthroughs of tomorrow. Eugene is widely known for the University of Oregon, its football team, its track and field standouts, and surrounding green forests. But Eugene is so much more than those things. It has a long history of innovation, the birthplace of companies like Nike, and today, it is nurturing a growing community of over 400 tech companies. America's newest Mozilla Gigabit City, Eugene, represents the culmination of a decades-long public-private partnership between local government, education, and private business to deliver world-class internet service. That collaboration and superior connectivity support the technology and creativity that drive innovation and produce sustainable, high-paying local jobs. With rapid employment growth on the horizon, thousands of those jobs will come available in the next decade. Oregon is uniquely suited to embrace the tech industry because of places like Eugene, places with good schools, with a growing capacity to teach computer science to the next generation of problem solvers. Places that offer the right work-life balance, where outdoor recreation and healthy living are encouraged and accessible. Places where local companies routinely make a list of Outside Magazine's 100 best places to work in the country. Eugene's recent Mozilla Gigabit City designation comes from the tech industry working hand-in-hand with local governments, educational institutions, nonprofits, and private enterprise. The Mozilla Foundation will bring grant funding to innovators, educators, and technologists to expand the imaginative research and creations that are driving the future. Congratulations, Eugene, for being named the next Gigabit City by Mozilla and the first Gigabit City on the West Coast.
Before it autoplays.
Thank you very much to TAO for that video.
It's gonna autoplay.
It inspires me to do my work every day. I just want to make a quick...
Today, more than 100 high schoolers and teachers
It autoplayed. Close it. You gotta close the window. Go to the YouTube. It autoplayed.
I want to give a quick call out to Mayor Lucy Bennett. She's been a big supporter of getting us here and continuing to promote our work, so I just want to invite her to stand up and say a few words.
Good morning. I'm not going to delay your incredible meeting. This is just exactly what we want to see happen in our wonderful city and our community, and the impact just reverberates. So thank you all very much for being here today, for your creativity and your investment in doing really great things for our community. And thank you for holding this meeting. So carry on.
Thank you very much, Lucy. Let me try to fix this if I can. First time using a computer, everyone. All right. You know, they say a good presenter doesn't need a lot of slides, so I have about 90. I hope you'll stick with me. And I love public speaking. I love it as much as being in traffic in Portland, in rush hour, without air conditioning. So here we go. All right. And my name is Craig. I'm the Gigabit Portfolio Manager for Eugene. Nice to meet you. I'm sure I'll be seeing more of you as we interact, as you reach out to me, and as we continue through this process. So I work for an organization called Mozilla. And what is Mozilla? Well, we're Internet for the People nonprofit, and we are a nonprofit. And I think that's a lot of things. People don't know that we're a nonprofit, and we always have been. And we started out in 1998. It was a group of people that branched off from a company called Netscape. And Netscape wasn't so good, it was about to get acquired by a giant. So these people thought, let's start an open source net browser. So people can surf the net and improve it together, crowdsource ideas. And they began doing that, and it just evolved into a huge thing. And now, that's what Mozilla was founded on, open source, crowdsourcing, and that's what we continue to do today. So we are a mission-driven nonprofit. But you're also a technology company, and that's how most people know us. Actually, 1/5 of all web activity goes through Firefox products. So we're a big player in the game, just bragging. But we're also a global movement, and we're trying to advance free, open internet, equitable internet, high-speed internet to all people, and kind of teaching cities how they can best utilize that. And that's why I'm here today, and that's why Mozilla came to Eugene. So, as you can see, we're a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And please explore Mozilla's work further, but today we'll be focusing mostly on the mission work that's done in communities, local communities. So what is the internet? The internet is a lot of things to a lot of people. Sometimes it's not used as a tool, sometimes it's used to entertain, and that's great. And we all are on the internet for up to 12 hours a day, but a lot of us don't exactly know how it works and how it can be utilized. But we're here to Mozilla's here to kind of teach you and work with you about how can the internet be used to educate and how can it be used to build communities. And we're moving in a direction, and we have to face the facts that a lot of our lives, a lot of our jobs, the economy, education is based on technology. And we need to work with that, not against that. Here's a good stat. We have 3.2 billion people using the web right now, out of our world population. That's going to expand to 5 billion in the next 5 years. So we need to figure out how to work with it, like I said, not against it. So these are some of the things that Mozilla stands for. We really care about equity and making sure everyone has equal access to the internet. We care about it being open, the internet that we've always loved and always known. We want to decentralize. We really know that once something like the internet gets into the hands of a few, it really stifles creativity and innovation. So keeping that kind of innovators popping up all over the place. So that's why we work internationally and around the country with people with ideas. So some of you that have grant ideas, you're going to help spur that innovation and stop the decentralization of the internet. So we want to do a couple of things with our mission. We want to shape the agenda, help people talk about the internet, but in a good way, and how to push forward, creativity, and not let it become this thing that's siloed to a few companies, and really get people excited. What can I do locally? I also want to mobilize citizens, so getting people engaged. So you all are here today. We mobilized you. You came out of your house, and I'm happy that you came. And investing in leaders. So we have really innovative internships and fellowship programs through Mozilla, kind of teaching young people how to be advocates, both on a policy level, on a technological level, a lot of different levels. Community organizing as well. And we want to continue to do that. If you want to get involved, we'd love to have you. So now I'm going to talk about the part that I think you all came for, the Mozilla Gigabit Community Fund. And I'm going to play a short clip because it can talk better than I can about it. If I can get it to work.
So you don't have to access this. You don't have to build what's over here on the left. I mean, that looks like a fire hazard, and you're supposed to maybe not let you get away with it. You can also rent these same capabilities. People don't have to use that.
I thought I was getting yelled at by someone.
Oh yeah, kill it, kill it.
All right. Let's take two. No fight happening here. All right, that's okay. Oh, this is fun. And here we go.
Talk about gigabit technology, people kind of look at me like, they go, what? Gigabit internet is an ultra high-speed, low latency, or the amount of time it takes for data to get from point A to point B network. It offers speeds that are about 18 times faster to download and 52 times faster to upload than the average American home. Unless you're living in the woods, and then it's about 1,000,000 times faster than dial-up. Okay, that's fast, but what can you actually do with it? You can run a virtual reality environment straight from the cloud that makes it feel like the only thing missing is the smell of the virtual cookies you're making. Be in a classroom of students conducting research, watching 4K videos, downloading content, and interacting on their tablets all at the same time. Download an entire digital movie of up to 14 gigabytes in a little under 2 minutes. And of course, streaming lots of cat videos. Mozilla is a global nonprofit that builds open source products like Firefox and fuels the open internet movement, which is to ensure the internet is a public resource, open and accessible to all. This is why we promote innovation, web literacy, and digital equity. Pretty awesome. Side note, digital equity is ensuring everyone in our society has equal access to and knowledge about the possibilities of technology tools, computers, and the internet. One of the ways we work toward digital equity is through the Mozilla Gigabit Community Fund, in partnership with the National Science Foundation, who contributes to universal participation in an information technology-fueled society. Since 2014, Mozilla's Gigabit work has enabled and empowered teachers, students, technologists, and regular everyday people to build future-focused technology for education and workforce development. So what are these gigabit technologies that make learning life-changing? 4K video streaming, virtual reality, augmented reality, big data computation, artificial intelligence, Let's stop talking and listen to some of our real-life grantees.
The Gigabots are connected robotics for education. The Mozilla Gigabit Community Fund enabled the idea to become real. We want to see what can happen if we can turn it into a connected device, along with the ability to control those devices in real time and allow them to program them in JavaScript. What's really important for them is the amount of time that it takes from the message to go from one robot to the other out across the network. The focus is on sort of this low latency experience and how we can make it better. And we're bringing that to classrooms right now.
The Gigabit Fund helped us put up an art piece that is a sound in the middle of the chapter. We can tell them, do some responsive, what's going on in the alleyway, let's crank the sound.
The education opportunities for the youth is the most exciting part for me, and seeing what these kids grow and become in the future.
We were greatly funded by Mozilla this year to build an application called Read to Think, which is an artificial intelligence tool to help kids become better readers.
So our software will listen to them and then it will figure out what their actual reading level is. From there, it will present engaging new content to them that they'll perform better when reading.
So it's not just a fund, it's a community that thrives when you contribute. You're not just helping enhance education for today, you're advancing learning, making the future possible. With your help, kids can grow up to be whatever they want to be.
Alright, so this is our third year doing this. So far we've funded 44 projects across the country worth $709,000. We funded projects low end $3,000 all the way high end $30,000. That's about the general. We're going to confine it a little more, constrict it a little more for our recommendations, but it's up to you what you think your project's worth when you submit your applications. I just wanted to quick point out, we are funded, so thank you very much to the National Science Foundation and US Ignite for allowing us to manage these funds and give these grants to cities. They make a great difference. And again, just building on the types of things that these funds can go towards, the types of technologies. We have 4K video, virtual reality, and we also have augmented reality. If you're not aware about what that is, virtual reality is when you're fully encased in an immersive new world. Augmented is when you're currently residing in your current world, and it's just augmented and has things added to it that are special. So if we would look outside right now and see a balloon starting to take off that we could run and pretend to jump on, that's augmented. Internet of Things, often called IoT, those are things like your home device that you talk to, like, hey Alexa, order me a pizza, something like that. It's also things like climate control in your house, turn the temperature down 5 degrees, thanks, climate control device on the wall. And big data, which is something Dr. David Conner will talk about later that, the University of Oregon is currently implementing. And something like Big Blue, playing against chess masters, big data. So why did Eugene get picked? Eugene is known historically as a very innovative community with passionate people, always has been, and one of those people is Matt Sayre, who you'll be hearing from next, from TAO. He got really, behind this and got the community behind this and approached Mozilla in a way that was just amazing, and they couldn't say no. So that's why we're here, and we're excited to continue to work with all the organizations in the room and all the individuals in the room, and looking forward to it. And you can see our other cities, we're a little, separated from the rest of the Gigabit cities that are mid-east, but that's why we got to dominate and represent the West Coast. All right, so I want to boil it down to 3 very simple things, because I feel like maybe people get a little intimidated by these grants. They're kind of confused. Who's eligible? Am I eligible? I don't think so. Well, there's only 3 things that you need to qualify for these grants. So, number 1, does your project use high-speed fiber broadband? If yes, awesome, you're still eligible. Number 2, do you have a mission related to education and or workplace development? Yes, awesome, still eligible. Number 3, do you reside in the greater Eugene area? That one's a little up to interpretation, and if you feel like you do, please apply. One thing that was brought up to me, Lane Workforce Partnerships, I was in a meeting and Christina, yeah, she's great. But she was like, what about rural people? Are they eligible for these? Can they apply? And I was like, yes, you get it, especially people in rural areas that don't usually have access to fiber. And I know we have some ISPs in the room right now that would be more than happy to work with these broadband communities, allow them to share spaces, and be able to take advantage of these funds. So definitely don't be scared to branch out a little out of the community. We want far west Eugene, we want Springfield, we want downtown, we want everyone. So we don't want California, but you get it. So this is the network of an application. It's something I kind of thought about in terms of applying. We're not going to be funding someone that's like, I have this great idea, I'm working on it in my basement all by myself. No, we really want you to branch out into the community and complete your assets and figure out all the puzzle pieces that you're missing. Find a nonprofit that can help you, find a grant writer that can help you, find a big tech company that's willing to pitch in some help. And one thing that we're able to do with our funds is help professional development for your organization. So if you're like, oh, we want to do VR, but our coders are, they're a little behind, they want to take the latest class, like, yes, you can totally use the fund for opportunities like that as well. And Mozilla is more than happy to help out with that. And I'm more than happy to help out with that. So I wanted to read some quotes here. I just went to the Redefining Women in Tech meetup on Tuesday, and it was amazing. And I do want to make I don't want to ignore the fact that you have a white male up here talking to you about technology. It's very stereotypical, and it's going to continue to happen in this event. But I don't think we should shy away from it. Let's acknowledge it, and let's work on it. And we need to continue to work on that as a community, and as a country, and definitely in the tech sector. So here's a quote from Lauren Russell. I don't know if you're here. I think I saw you. Okay, you're great. I'm going to read a quote here. I love the fund stated goal of increasing participation in tech innovation so that all people are empowered, safe, and independent online. To me that says, I can't read. When it comes to equitability in the internet, there's room to grow, and we want to be a part of that solution. Eugene's deep roots in technology and general inclusive values make it a perfect partnership for Mozilla. Though we have a highly skilled sector, there's plenty of undeveloped local tech talent and a growing need for it. Traditional career training efforts continue to reach the same demographics. It's time to innovate if we want a more diverse workforce and our community thrives on innovation. So I really thought that was empowering, and I encourage anyone that's planning to apply to these grants, look for partners like Redefining Women in Tech. Reach out to them, get their perspective. It's going to make the world a difference. I mean, from interpreting the grants that are selected, but also, making your grants as strong as possible. Another quote from Heidi Lorwick at Connected Lane County and Lane STEM. In Lane County, there are 16 school districts ranging in size from 100 students to 15,000 students. Graduation rates span from 65% to 92%. And the resources available to our students differ greatly across district lines. When we consider the opportunities to utilize technology in school, there's still a huge digital divide between learners who are using technology in active, creative ways and those who use it for content consumption. I think we're all guilty of that, but that's okay. We all need to help our schools use technology to improve learning and scale up learning experiences. Further, it's imperative that we continue to prepare our teachers effectively with technology and relevant digital content. We have an incredible opportunity with Mozilla to connect more innovative solutions with educators and classrooms, and Connected Lane County can help facilitate that strategic partnership. So, another partner willing to reach out, please reach out to Connected Lane County, Lane STEM, and get them involved in the projects. And I definitely am not ignoring you, arts community. I love you. So here's a quote from Leora Spanko. Eugene has an extremely talented community of artists and innovators. The Mozilla Gigabit Community Fund presents an exciting opportunity for artists and art leaders to envision collaborative projects that integrate arts and technology. Through these partnerships, we can make a considerable impact in our community and schools. And I just really wanted to call out these three organizations because they're doing amazing work in the community, and they can all serve as partners on your projects. Don't forget, there's so many organizations in Greater Eugene area looking to jump on something like this. Whether they're the leaders or you are, reach out. Another thing that goes along with being a Mozilla Gigabit City is education to the community of what the internet is and what it can be to drive both education and workforce development. So if you ever want to organize an event based around internet health and internet knowledge, whether that's K-12 or adult learning, reach out to me and we'll make something happen. Mozilla loves doing community workshops and community development, and I'm more than happy to help you set something like that up or come to a classroom and show you the curriculum that we can kind of integrate to show what is the internet. Because getting people, especially young people, knowing how it works and what it is at a young age gets them excited to work in the tech industry, and then buy with the brain drain that happens from University of Oregon. I don't see jobs, I'm leaving. But if they're in it from age 12 and it becomes integrated into the community, more tech jobs jump up, everything works. This is just one. All right. And this is kind of the spectrum of technology knowledge, and we want people all across the spectrum applying for these grants and involved in implementing these grants. So there's people that are like, I don't understand how that works, or why do we need high-speed internet? And then there's people who have been coding for 30, 40 years. We want both people involved on hopefully all projects, but the spectrum is fine. Don't feel intimidated just because we are a tech company that you are not eligible for these grants. We'll find the partners. So I'm going to show some sample projects to you real quick because I know that's what you're yearning for. Like, what has been fun in the past? Viator is one of my favorite ones. It's a cultural / language learning technology. So, you know, you can sit and listen to an audio tape of how I learned French, or you can put on a virtual reality headset, you can go to a bistro in France and talk with someone and have that immersive experience. And it's really cool. So look into it, buy it. And that's in Chattanooga. Smart greenhouses. So you have a green thumb? Cool. You want to use Internet of Things to regulate your greenhouse? That's a possible project. That's something that's been funded in the past. So yeah, never think anything's out of the realm of these grants. I know one thing we'll be talking about here is access to a 4K telescope, which has been happening in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We also have that opportunity here, so stay tuned. One thing I want to touch on is cross-city partnerships. There's two different funds for our grants. There's local and there's cross-city. Cross-city, you get a little bit more money because it takes more money to run, but we have some organizations, if you don't have a project in mind, they're already waiting with bated breath for you to come to them and work with them. One of them is Aduity, that is a crowdsourced SMB, so small and medium-sized business, just kind of co-locating resources, crowdsourcing resources about how can we improve people, match people with jobs, and utilize this high-speed networks to do this. So if that's your thing, and you don't have a project lined up, you got a partner willing to work with you from Chattanooga. Another one in Chattanooga is synchronized collaborative concerts using something called LOLA, which is low latency and high-speed audio and video conferencing. So it has a 0.0003 second delay, I believe, which is just amazing. And that means that you can give music lessons from across the country. You can collaborate in a concert with someone across the country. And because there's minimal lag due to the high-speed networks, the artists don't even notice. And the audience definitely doesn't notice. So it's pretty amazing. And by the way, I think I already said this, but all these people are looking for your partnerships. So if you say, hey, Craig, I'm excited, I want to partner with those people, that sounded great, come at me. So in Kansas City, we have something called the Gigabit. You saw a bit of that. They're now in Austin and Kansas City, but definitely looking for a third city, maybe a fourth city. And so any roboticists or technologists in the room that are excited about implementing this in your classrooms, something's already going, you can start your own. I'm not going to stop you, but if you want to jump on this, that would be awesome as well. And you know, this allows students to learn basic JavaScript and to program the Gigabots. And it's all the way from middle school, high school, and beyond. So yeah, don't let any of the technology stop you. Austin is killing it. They have something called the Digital Mock State Council that they call Austin Budget Party. And in a civically minded city like Eugene, I think this is definitely something that someone should jump on. You know, interacting with your town hall in a way that you don't have to go to a city council meeting at 8 p.m. No offense, they're really, really entertaining. Lucy, I'm sorry, but but you know, we can't always get there. And if we're able to interact online and give our input to the budget virtually, and this is also for middle school kids, high school kids, getting them civically minded really early in life and realizing they can have direct impact on local government. I'm excited. I might submit right here. I don't know. Anyway, look into it. It's good. Another one is called You Teach Outreach. It's just virtual reality, teaching kids STEM through virtual reality headsets and programming. And one really amazing one is called Pen Pal School. So this is, students are matched with pen pals around the world to collaborate. And the curriculums range from 1 to 6 weeks, or you can create your own from scratch. Over 100,000 students from 168 countries have utilized this technology. The most recent one was a 5-unit curriculum in Chattanooga. It was immersive VR trip to Pakistan. And 2,400 kids took part in that from 13 different countries. So it's pretty amazing. I mean, these are virtual reality, full-on historical learning opportunities. So any social study teacher in the room, I mean, definitely jump on this. And I do have a short video, but maybe I'll just skip it because I'm talking too much. Unless you want to watch it. You want to watch it? Yeah. It is life-changing. Good enough. Oh, this is the fire hydrant. So I really hope some educators and technology companies there are willing to take advantage of that. It's a really cool program. And it's called Pen Pal Schools because the students get matched with one other person in a different country. And it just is some of the most immersive learning I think I've ever seen in my life. So big fan, big fan. All right, so I'm quickly to talk about it's time to apply right now and how to do that. So step one, fill out a letter of intent. I know many of you in this room have already done that. That's due July 5th. It's just a one-page Google form. It's pretty simple. Go to mozilla.org/gigabit. It's there. Step two, fill out your application. I will send you an application once I pour over the letter of intent that come in July 5th. And so you can apply to Eugene only or cross-city. And to be cross-city, like I mentioned before, you need at least 2 gigabit cities. If you want to have 10 cities, if you want to have Chicago, New York, and all those, but 2 of them need to be gigabit cities, which are Lafayette, Louisiana, Chattanooga, Tennessee, Austin, Texas, Kansas City, Eugene, Oregon. All right. So recommended amounts, these again are not set in stone, but we recommend that you ask for 5 to 15 for a Eugene only project, and for cross city 15 to 20. So after your grant is approved, we cut you a check, we cut you loose, and you do what you do. The entire amount of the grant needs to be used within the grant period, and if it is not, you need to give it back. But your project can already be started, and it can exist far after you utilize our money during the pilot program. But just the money has to be used in that period. Letter of intent, application, whatever that. Pilot period begins in October, so you'll receive the money shortly before that, and then it ends 16 weeks later in February. And then once the pilot period is over, you will report back to me. But again, Mozilla is all about open source and sharing. So throughout your project, you're going to be sharing what's working, what's not. If you're using code, hopefully you're willing to share it with the community and let them adapt and revise and work on it. And so I'll be here throughout the entire process. And after our speakers, we have a networking hour where you can make these connections to apply to these grants or talk about different opportunities, and that's there. We'll talk more about that. So thank you. I'm done talking, which is good for all of you. Thank you. That's there.
Hey guys. What an exciting day for our community. I can get All right. I'm reminded every day that we're a community rich with innovators. I have a privilege of meeting with folks in our community, tech execs on a daily basis, entrepreneurs, and I see it every day. And I see it in this room. It's a full house, and it's a really special day for our community. And I think innovation is in our DNA. I also think that collaboration is in our DNA. So I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge how we got here. And I don't think people know this, but Eugene beat out 47 other cities that applied for this prestigious designation. So it wasn't there, right? It wasn't just a sort of a check the box thing. And so I wanted to say thank you to the organizations who, and I would say one more thing. So the processes like this, you don't know that you're going to win. You hope that you're going to win. And you're putting in this effort, sort of like rolling the dice a little bit. So I want to acknowledge these groups, in part because they took a risk on something that wasn't a sure thing. And so if you could stand, if you're part of one of these groups, and I'm hopeful I'm going to be able to get them all, and we could give these guys a round of applause. So the City of Eugene, Lane Council of Governments, please stand if you're part of one of these organizations. Eugene 4J School District, Emerald Broadband, Access Media, University of Oregon, Connected Lane County, Lane STEM, Lane Workforce Partnership, LCC, Coder Dojo, Eugene Education Foundation, Lane Arts Council, Eugene Tech, and RAIN. It took all of these groups to get here today, and so we owe these groups a debt of gratitude. So please join me in thanking them. And so we have come together, I think, as a community around a common vision. Slide. Here we go. Gotta work somehow. Next slide, next slide. We're just going to tell you what's on this next one. It says the vision, establish Eugene as one of the best places in the country for internet access. And I think we're on our way. And so I wanted to give you a quick update on some numbers that sort of make that credible. And a big part of what that has looked like is the expansion of UGeNet, which is the largest open access fiber optic network in Oregon. And we've had a project that's been going now for 90 days. So the kickoff of this project was March 21st. We had a great event at the Minor Building on Broadway Street in the heart of downtown. Lucy was there and she spoke. And so that was a really special day to kick off the project. So we're 90 days in. And so the goal was to connect around 125 buildings. And we're happy to report that 47 buildings have signed up. And as of today, 16 buildings have already been connected. So we're 90 days in and we've connected 16 buildings, and I think we're making great progress there. But the story of UGeNet and the inclusivity of these efforts are way bigger than just downtown Eugene. And so I think part of what I do is remind people that this is bigger than just downtown Eugene. And so I have some other news to share around where this has gone and some very recent updates that have happened in our community that I'm excited to share with you today. So the first was that earlier this week, the first fiber to the home customer was connected. So that happened. So this, again, it's more than just downtown and it's more than just tech companies. So first fiber to the home customer has been connected and they paid for symmetrical gigabit $59 a month. So that's the best price in the state of Oregon. And it's competitive nationally. So not only do we have world-class speeds, but we have world-class services and prices. So that's pretty substantial milestone. Lane County, I got an email from the CIO at Lane County. I don't know if Michael's here, but and he shared that they just upgraded their infrastructure, so the Wi-Fi for all of the county employees and also for the Lane Council of Governments employees, and it is 200 times faster than before. 200 times faster. That's remarkable. So hey, what about the schools? I have confirmed with Eugene 4J that they have connected and they'll come online July 1st. Their speeds are 10 times faster than they were last year. 10 times faster. And the price that they're paying is less than half, more than half. It's more than 50% reduction over last year. So speeds have increased tenfold and prices have fallen by more than half. So that's fantastic for our schools. Yes, we're clapping. Springfield School District. The Springfield folks talked to me, and they're not here today because they're actually connecting all of the schools in the Springfield School District to Eugene. So that's another announcement in terms of speed and price that will come here in the very near future. But we're making great progress, and I was excited to share some of those updates with you guys. And I also want to talk about some innovation ingredients that are here in the room that I think that you'd increase your probabilities of success with talking with these folks and partnering with these folks if it looks like a good fit in terms of what your projects might look like. So these are folks that I'm fortunate to work with on almost a daily basis, and it's sort of the recipe for success, our success over the past couple of years. And so I wanted to call out a handful of individuals that are sort of innovators in our community and have brought ingredients that I think you should include in your recipe. And so Stephen Parrott from Excess Media, are you here? He's back in the back row there. They're the new ISP for 4J School District. And Nate and Kim from Badger, in the back row there. Digital Badges, it's pretty awesome that we have that organization in our community. So I would encourage you to talk to Kim back there. Raymond Hardman from Emerald Broadband. These are over there, and Scott. Hey, Scott. These are great guys to talk about wireless infrastructure. And so a lot of the technology that they provide comes off of an extension of the fiber and then extends out to the community via wireless. So they're great folks to talk to. Heidi Larwick was mentioned earlier. She's Dynamo. She's executive director of Lane STEM and Connected Lane County. And also Denise. Did I see Denise here? Hey, there's Denise. That woman is an amazing grant writer. She actually helped with this initial proposal. And so at the very least, you should chat with her about what makes for a great grant proposal. And TAO is very thankful to count all of those folks as partners. And often I get asked this question. It's like, hey Matt, what can you do with gigabit internet? And I tell them basically, you can do anything you want. And then some people ask me, now that we have 10 gigabit internet, like what can you do with 10 gigabit internet? And to that I say you can do anything you can imagine. So with that, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. David Conover from the University of Oregon. Is he here? Yes. And David is the VP of Research and Innovation, and I haven't met him before, so I'm really excited for what he has to say. Very nice to meet you.
Thank you, and probably the reason is I've only been here about 10 months now as the Vice President for Research and Innovation at the ago, and I'm really thrilled to be here at the U of O and at this conference this morning. Let me begin by welcoming you to the University of Oregon. I know many of you are from the community. What's the two most frequent words heard on our campus? Go Ducks! I didn't hear that. That wasn't very loud. Let's hear it again. Go Ducks! Thank you. Thank you. As the university's Chief Research and Innovation Officer, I'm always on the lookout for new ways to collaborate. In an era in which higher education funding may be declining and our technology needs are increasing, finding new partners is a key to our continued success as a research university. So I'm excited about the prospect of working with all of you to improve our network and become better connected. The Mozilla Gigabit Eugene project makes that a priority and challenges us to imagine ways to use this infrastructure on future-focused technology for education and workforce development. Our multi-million-dollar research enterprise already provides us with many opportunities to collaborate with private industry. But the Mozilla Gigabit Eugene project would further expand our capacity to partner with the local tech community, including innovators, educators, entrepreneurs, students, and community advocates. Better internet connections can open up new doors for all of us and allow us to leverage the tools and technologies that we have at the U of O. Let me give you an example of our high-tech extension service known as CAMCOR, which is a $40 million shared materials fabrication and characterization facility, and it depends greatly on high-speed connectivity. It's a resource for everyone, from startup companies to large corporations like Sony. In all, more than 60 private companies and researchers, and about 60 other universities use CAMCOR on a regular basis. The facilities and its services are available 24 hours a day through remote machinery access that allows researchers from as far away as Japan and Europe to conduct experiments at their convenience in our facility. This world-class facility also includes the Titan transmission electron microscope. The Titan is a powerful machine that provides imaging analysis and image filtering and microscopy for material samples. Researchers are using transmission electron microscopes in new and exciting ways, doing things like creating three-dimensional models of proteins using extremely fast cameras. These tools are producing bigger and bigger data sets, and we are increasingly challenged in our ability to process and transfer that information. And when we start to think about incorporating technologies like 4K video, these data sets grow even larger. And analyzing this takes, these massive amounts of data take time, and that's why the connection speed is so important. Another example of new technology installed on our campus is in the Price Science Commons and Research Library. This is the Visualization Lab, a 50 million pixel high-resolution computer screen that stretches 20 feet long and more than 7 feet tall. Think of it as an enormous version of your desktop computer screen that allows users to interact with data in a much more immersive manner. Instead of scrolling a mouse or pinching a screen, you simply walk closer or further away. This experience allows you to see all of the visual information at once. It's a new piece of technology, and we are still realizing its potential. But we know that geographers will be using this facility to look at GIS data. Biologists will use this screen to look at high-resolution microscopy. And a physicist is already using it to rethink how he shares his research and teaches his students, presenting his slide decks on that screen. This offers enormous potential to innovate in the ways in which we share information, including in education and research. As I mentioned earlier, collaboration is a key to our future, and it's not only part of our mission as a research university, but it also helps us make better use of limited resources. I want to point out that we're very pleased that we recently hired a new Chief Information Officer, Jessie Minton, and she's back there in the room, back there in the corner right there. She's only been on the job about a month now, I think. And one of the things she's looking at is how we can connect this university to the other universities, research centers, and data centers at a much higher speed than we're connected now. We're looking at how we can connect at 100 gigabits a second going forward. And that's what research universities across the nation are doing, connecting themselves to each other, making it easier for researchers all over the world to work together. And that's going to be especially important as we begin to hire people to fill in Penny Night campus for accelerating scientific impact. Because the kinds of scientists we're going to be attracting to that campus are going to be expecting high-speed connectivity at rates that are among the best any research university can provide. And that'll be an extremely important component of that campus. And there's one more example that I would like to share with you, and that's our high-performance computing facility, which we just launched, or I should really say we're in the process of launching. And we also brought in a new person on our campus, Nick Maggio, who is the new director of this high-performance facility. And it's going to revolutionize the types of research our faculty can do. And so I've asked Nick to come on stage and give a description of the high-performance computing and his own thoughts on this topic.
Thank you, David, for that excellent introduction. And thank you to Mozilla and TAO for the chance to speak today. I really appreciate it. So it's my great pleasure and it's my privilege to serve as the Director of Research Advanced Computing Services at the University of Oregon, or RACS. We're a new core facility. We've been stood up in support of a larger research mission. And it's really our core mission to advance and support computational research at the University of Oregon and the state of Oregon and really in the world. So I don't think it's any surprise that we're living in the age of data. Data permeates our lives everywhere, from the trivial, from, what route we're going to take to work this morning, what we're going to wear to work when we look at the weather report, what song we're going to hear when we turn our computer on and start getting our playlist, to the really existential questions that face us as a nation and as a people. I believe that making sense of this data is really the key challenge of our time, and a crucial challenge to advancing science and understanding the world that we live in. High-performance computing is the #1 tool for turning this deluge of data into actionable intelligence and information that we can use to better our lives and understand the world we live in. So for the last 30 years, 40 years, even 50 years, the natural sciences have been using computational research to advance their mission, to better understand the physical world that we live in. In the last 10 years, this deluge of data has pushed the social sciences, the anthropologists, the sociologists, the business school, all of these other non-traditional computing users into the world of data. They're being forced off of their laptops and their desktops and onto these advanced computational resources. And it's our role in RACS to make sure that when they get there, they're able to effectively and optimally use the resources that we can make available to them. One of the best talks that I've attended in the last year at an HPC conference was entitled Rescuing Lost History, Using Big Data to Recover Black Women's Lived Experiences. At this talk, the researchers from the University of Illinois used trillions of tiny little data points that were spread out over thousands of documents to reconstruct a new and cogent narrative of an underrepresented people that wasn't recorded at the time, but can be data mined out of existing resources. It's these sorts of things, these new challenges that really excite me and get me out of bed in the morning and make me want to come to work and help people do better research. So, like I said, in the last several years, I found myself working with anthropologists, I found myself working with the business school, and I continue to work with physicists, chemists, mathematicians, engineers, and biologists. Biologists being a group that, until recently, we really thought of as novel users of HPC as well. President Schultz, in his wisdom, anticipated the need for advanced computing research on campus, And he commissioned the creation of a new HPC cluster, a supercomputer, here at the University of Oregon. So this is the fun part. This is where I get to brag about how I run the best computer in the city, right? So our supercomputer is composed of over 132 individual computers that are the state-of-the-art best servers that you can possibly buy, all connected by a very, very fast network that allows them to operate as a single machine. So this machine has over 4,000 individual CPUs and over 19,000 gigabytes of memory that it can bring to bear on any problem. It can carry out over 250 trillion calculations every single second, and it has over 1.5 million gigabytes of storage available to it that is parallel and fast. It also has one of the fastest interconnects that you can buy on the market today. That means that all the communication between these individual machines is very high throughput, very low latency, 100 gigabit per second. As impressive as these statistics are, we didn't design this machine to simply check boxes and get us onto a top 500 list. We designed this machine to do research and really affect the way that people live in the world. So we have some tools in this machine that you may not find on a typical top 500 machine. This includes some large memory servers, individual machines that have up to 4 terabytes of memory on one single platform. This allows our researchers in genomics, for example, to assemble larger genomes than they ever have been able to before. It allows people who are doing research on social networks to consider bigger social networks than they ever have before. And I'm excited to hear about opportunities that you may have to leverage this unique technology. We also have over 96 of the fastest GPUs that you can buy. This is a great tool for people who are interested in machine learning, artificial intelligence, and want to take advantage of some of the tools that Google has open sourced over the last few years, DeepMind, for example. So there's no point in having all these excellent tools if no one can use the machine or if no one understands how to use the machine. As excited as I am about the technical and hard resources that we have, I'm just as excited about the people resources we're bringing to bear as part of this facility. So Racksrite was able to retain Rob Young as a system administrator. Rob is a computational chemist, a PhD, who has over 10 years of HPC experience, and he's going to take the lead in making sure that the machine stays available and healthy for the years to come. We've also managed to attract Chris Hoffman from Los Alamos National Laboratories, who's a specialist in hierarchical storage and will be joining our team in July. Lastly, I'm excited to announce that we're currently searching for a computational scientist to act as a user support specialist and to help onboard new users on the machine and help people in the community understand how this resource can be used to advance their own goals and achieve their own objectives. So how do you use the machine? How is this made available? We're operating on the same business model as both CamCore, GC3F, and many of the other core facilities here on campus, and that we're a service center. So we're available to internal users at the University of Oregon, but we're also available to external users in Eugene and across the world. So David has made it our priority to help anybody who needs help to do their research in Oregon or anywhere for that matter. So to that end, we are available at our own internal rates to any university here in Oregon, and we're available at external rates to anybody who wants to use the machine for their research outside the Oregon University system. We're currently in beta testing, and we plan to go to production in the fall, and at that point we'll be announcing what our rate structure will be and is available to the external community. So the procurement of this new supercomputer and the establishment of this core facility to support computational research really marks a new age in the research at the university. I, for one, cannot wait to see the new types of research that will come out of this resource, and I'm eager to hear from you about ways that we can partner outside of academia to take advantage of this unique opportunity. So thank you very much.
Alrighty, so I just want to thank Nick and Matt and Dr. Conover so much for coming and inspiring you people on how to utilize those tools to apply to these grants. And I want to thank you all for coming. I also wanted to remind people, if you're worried about the deadline looming, there will be a second round in about 7-8 months. So definitely plan to prepare for that as well. And there's no such thing as not being able to get refunded. So funded again, I guess would be the term. Yeah, continue with the ideas regardless of if you get funded or not in the innovation. And now I'm going to stick around for the next 2 hours. I'll buy you all a free coffee, eat away, network, make those connections, and come bother me. I would love it. All right, thank you so much. And we're going to have ingredients around the room. So innovators.
So thanks again to the National Science Foundation and US Ignite for allowing us to do this stream. So we're in the bingo portion, so that's it. Thank you for viewing. I don't feel so bad. Finish button.